We're going to contact the Kenner Police Department to investigate this issue as far as you being here and refusing to leave without, we've asked you to leave, you're refusing to leave. That's your decision. We're asking the Kenner Police Department to come investigate a possible crime being committed by you for not refusing to leave.
But you can only request ID if you have reasonable articulable suspicion that I've broken the law. I haven't broken the law. I'm outside. I haven't gone back in. So therefore I have broken 0 laws, and I don't have an obligation. You need reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime.
All right, so yes, sir. If you do not provide us with an ID or way of means of identifying you, you'll be placed under arrest. Right now, you're just detained. Yes, if you do not provide an ID, documentation saying who you are, you'll be going to jail.
Welcome back. Today we take you to Kenner, Louisiana, where a routine First Amendment audit turns into a constitutional nightmare. When police confront Long Island Audit for filming in a public lobby, the situation escalates fast. The sergeant here decides that policy overrides the law, issuing a chilling ultimatum: ID or jail, even though no crime was committed. Huge shout out to Long Island Audit for exposing this overreach. His channel link is in the description. Go subscribe and tell him ID Refusal Central sent you. Watch closely, because you will definitely have an opinion on this.
Very small office here. We have some public notices over here to our right.
Sir, can we help you?
Who are you?
I'm one of the receptionists. I need to write you in if you're in the lobby.
You can write down Ben
Ben, what's your last name?
Franklin.
Ben Franklin?
Yes.
Who are you here to see?
I'm not here to see anybody.
Okay, so what are you here for then?
Well, that's my business, right?
No, it's probation and parole office, so are you here to...
Oh, this is the probation and parole office?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, are you here to see a probation and parole agent?
No. I mean, I'll talk to one.
And you can't just talk to one.
I
You
mean,
want supervision?
well, it doesn't matter. If you want to bring one out, I could speak to them. That's fine. Yeah, BENFRANKLIN. Ben Franklin. Thank you.
You're just here just because?
Well, I'm just here. I'm investigating right now. I really don't want to get into it too much, but I'm just investigating a complaint I received about the parole office, probation and parole office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that person file any paperwork for their complaint?
No, just got a complaint.
Okay, they probably should have filed the complaint and filled out the form for the complaint form.
Oh, you have complaint forms? Yeah, they probably didn't do that because it's like you guys investigate yourselves, so it's kind of pointless. You know what I mean?
I understand, but they still have to fill it out. It doesn't say at the office. It goes to headquarters in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it's still the government investigating the government. But
I
yeah.
understand, but like, if she has an issue, she needs to fill. That way, she has a paper trail in case it escalates or a similar problem. They can pull like, okay, she's made this many complaints.
Right.
Like that.
I think they're just scared of retaliation. But again, I'm just doing my thing. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm gonna have to ask you to turn that off. This is a DOC facility. You're not allowed to video in a DOC facility.
What is a DOC facility?
Department of Corrections.
Department of Corrections?
Yes. So please turn that off now.
What law is that?
Huh?
Who are you first?
My name is Mike O'Connell. I'm a probation parole supervisor here.
Okay.
So again, this is a DOC facility. You need to turn that off.
Well, what law is that, sir?
Huh? It's
Well,
policy. It's DOC policy.
It's DOC policy?
Yes.
Okay.
You do not get the same expectations of privacy as you would in any other place because this is a DOC facility. I'm asking you again, nicely, to turn that off.
Well, it wouldn't matter if you asked me nicely or not. I mean, it's still my right to record.
Not here.
The supervisor claims DOC policy prohibits recording, but policy is merely internal rules, not state statute. In a public office funded by taxpayers, the First Amendment typically overrides internal memos unless there is a specific penal code prohibiting photography. This creates a classic conflict, a citizen exercising a right versus a bureaucrat enforcing a rule.
It is not.
Sure it is.
No, it is not.
There's no signage, there's nothing, there's no law. Do you have a policy, a written policy that says that?
Yes.
Can I
We
see
have
it?
no expectation to provide it to you either, sir.
You have no expectation to provide it to me?
Private building. My name's Patrick O'Brien, just so you know.
Patrick O'Brien, are you his supervisor?
I am. My
Yes.
name's Patrick O'Brien. I'm the district manager here. You're in a private building, okay? The building is private.
I understand that.
This
Yep.
is a state office.
Right.
This is the Department
Funded by
of State
taxpayers.
Corrections,
Right.
Division of Probation and Parole, okay? The Department of Corrections.
The manager argues that because the building is leased, it is, quote, private property, despite housing a government agency. However, courts have often ruled that publicly accessible areas of government offices are public forums or limited public forums, regardless of who owns the brick and mortar. The public's right to access their government cannot be nullified simply by a lease agreement.
It's DOC, okay? Just like a prison, okay? You don't have the right to film in our facility.
Oh, this is a public lobby inside of a private building
No,
funded
this
by
is not a
taxpayers.
public library.
It is. It's open to the public.
This is owned by DOC.
This is not a secure
This is part
facility.
of
It is a
DOC.
secure facility.
It's not a. I mean, if it's so secure, how did I get here?
Well, first of all, question number one, why are you here?
As I told the receptionist there, I'm here to investigate
Investigate what?
a complaint that I received
From who are
from
you?
probation and parole. I don't really want to get into who I am.
Well, then you're going to have to leave.
No, I'm okay.
No, I'm asking you to leave.
No. I'm not breaking
You
any
want
laws.
to elevate? Yes, you are, because we have
I'm
now
not
asked you
breaking
to
any
leave.
laws. I'm not breaking any laws. This is a public
Yes,
bill. This is a
you
public
are.
office. I have every right to be here, just like
How far
anybody
do you
else.
know this?
What sensitive information am I getting? What? I'm in a public lobby. This is ridiculous. You have nothing that's. I'm not doing anything
I'll be
wrong.
with you in a second, sir.
Sounds to me like you guys don't want me investigating the abuse of the parolees and people on probation here. Just to be clear, there aren't any no recording
We're gonna
signs.
contact Patrick O'Brien.
Patrick O'Brien.
Just like the bar, but I don't know the bars.
Okay.
We're going to contact the Kenner Police Department to investigate this issue as far as you being here and refusing to leave without. We've asked you to leave. You're refusing to leave. That's your decision. We're asking the Kenner Police Department to come investigate a possible crime be committed by you for not refusing to leave.
Your
For
refusal to identify yourself.
well, I don't have to identify myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I don't.
You're
Do you
more
guys have
welcome-
open records requests?
You're more than welcome. Well, you can always still submit that. Yes.
Do you have like forms?
Well, I mean,
You have to
you have
contact
to
our-
email DOC Communications.
You guys don't have like open records request forms here?
No.
Okay.
You can go through our headquarters for that.
Okay. So are the police coming here?
They're gonna come here. You can hang out if you want. You can hang out downstairs. You can leave. You can do any of those choices.
Okay. Well, I would just like to. Will we agree that the law enforcement officers would know whether I have a right to be here or not? So can we wait to see what they say?
You're
So
not-
do you have a problem
you're
with me
not-
waiting? Do we
you're
have?
not under arrest at this time?
Do you have a problem with me waiting for law enforcement?
You're still under the instruction to leave our facility. If you don't leave our facility, we're not going to come out here and arrest you. We're going to let Kenner. We've referred that matter to the Kenner Police Department to continue.
Okay. No problem.
So, like I said, I've instructed you to leave. You've refused to do so. I have not effected an arrest on you for a violation of crime at this point. However, like I said, we have referred to the Kenner Police Department for further
Okay,
arrest.
so what I'll do is, so there's no confusion on whether I have a right to be here or not. No. So there's no confusion whether there's a right to be here or not. I will wait for the Kenner Police Department
I
outside.
do not believe you have the right to be here.
Okay,
we have
and I
policy
believe that I have
prevents
a First Amendment right to be here. Government transparency, accountability, First Amendment right, freedom of press. I am a journalist. So what I will do, Patrick.
If you could, I do think we're behind a locked door here, so you can film me, but I prefer you not to.
Oh, sure. No, I could be reasonable. But what I'm saying is I'm going to wait outside. I'm not detained. You're not detaining me or anything. So I'm going to go outside. I'm going to wait outside. I'm going to comply with.
First floor or out here?
No, I'm going to wait outside. Oh, well, you don't own the building, right?
I do not own the.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll wait in the lobby downstairs, outside for the Kenner Police Department, and then whatever they say, if they say they're going to arrest me if I don't
We'll meet
leave.
you down there when they come.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Yep.
Patrick O'Brien.
Patrick O'Brien. Got it.
Hard to forget, right?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, Officer Ferretti, McKenna Police Department.
Freddie.
Got a call, they feel you're suspicious on private property here recording. They want to know what's up.
Right, so I understand that this is private property, officer. I was in the publicly accessible areas of a public office funded by taxpayers.
Okay, so you're one of those auditors or something?
Right,
like
I'm here to
that?
peacefully exercise my constitutional rights, right.
Yeah.
I'm an independent journalist, really.
All right. Yeah, so I got a phone call or dispatch.
Right,
I didn't get the phone call.
Right.
I think, I
right.
seen you upstairs videotaping.
Yeah, I spoke with the director.
It's alarming and
Alarming.
kind of odd. But
Yeah, I spoke with them. Yeah. Hi again, Patrick.
Hi.
He's like a journalist, auditor.
Right, so, are you going to leave, or are you gonna try and come
Well,
up-
I'm not in your office anymore, right?
Correct. But I think that it's a violation of law. If we tell you to leave our facility, you have to leave. When I look at 1463.3,
Yeah,
That's-
so
that's
you
the way I
had, I haven't spoke to them yet, the complainant. So were you asked to leave?
Yeah, and I left. That's why I'm outside.
are you gonna continue to stay left?
Well, it depends on what the officer says. If he says that I have no right to be there, but I would advise to look into case law Turner v. Driver out of the Fifth Circuit. It says I have a right to record law enforcement officers from public.
I'm instructing you verbally that
Just federal case law Turner v. Driver.
I'm familiar with it.
The auditor explicitly cites Turner versus Driver, a ruling from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals which covers Louisiana. This landmark case confirmed that citizens have a First Amendment right to record police in public. By informing the officer of this specific case law, the auditor strips away the defense of qualified immunity, as the officer can no longer claim he didn't know the law.
Waiting for law enforcement.
You're still under the instruction to leave our facility. If you don't leave our facility, we're not going to come out here and arrest you. We're going to let Kenner, we've referred that matter to the Kenner Police Department to continue.
Okay, no problem.
So, like I said, I've instructed you to leave. You've refused to do so. I have not effected an arrest on you for a violation of crime at this point. However, like I said, we have referred to the Kenner Police Department for further
Okay,
arrest.
so what I'll do is, so there's no confusion on whether I have a right to be here or not. No. So there's no confusion whether there's a right to be here or not. I will wait for the Kenner Police Department
I
outside.
do not believe you have the right to be here.
Okay,
we have
and I
policy
believe that I have
prevents
a First Amendment right to be here. Government transparency, accountability, First Amendment right, freedom of press. I am a journalist. So what I will do, Patrick.
If you could, I do think we're behind a locked door here, so you can film me, but I prefer you not to.
Oh, sure. No, I could be reasonable. But what I'm saying is I'm going to wait outside. I'm not detained. You're not detaining me or anything. So I'm going to go outside. I'm going to wait outside. I'm going to comply with.
First floor or out here?
No, I'm going to wait outside. Oh, well, you don't own the building, right?
I do not own the
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll wait in the lobby downstairs, outside for the Kenner Police Department, and then whatever they say, if they say they're going to arrest me if I don't
We'll lead
leave.
you down when they come.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Yep.
Patrick O'Brien.
Patrick O'Brien. Got it.
Hard to forget, right?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, Officer Freddie, the Kenner Police Department.
Freddie.
Got a call like they feel you're suspicious on private property here recording. They want to know what's up.
Right, so I understand that this is private property, officer. I was in the publicly accessible areas of a public office funded by taxpayers.
Okay, so you're one of those auditors or something?
Right, I'm
like
here to
that?
peacefully exercise my constitutional rights, right.
Yeah.
I'm an independent journalist, really.
All right. Yeah, so I got a phone call or dispatch.
Right,
I didn't get the phone call. I
Right.
think, I
right.
seen you upstairs videotaping.
Yeah, I spoke with the director.
It's alarming and
Alarming.
kind of odd. But
Yeah, I spoke with them. Yeah. Hi again, Patrick.
Hi.
he's like a journalist, auditor.
Right, so, are you going to leave, or are you going to try and come
Well,
up-
I'm not in your office anymore, right?
Correct. But I think that it's a violation of law. If we tell you to leave our facility, you have to leave. When I look at 1463.3,
Yeah,
That's-
so
that's
you
the way
had,
I-
I haven't spoke to them yet, the complainant. So were you asked to leave?
Yeah, and I left. That's why I'm outside.
are you going to continue to stay left?
Well, it depends on what the officer says. If he says that I have no right to be there, but I would advise to look into case law Turner v. Driver out of the Fifth Circuit. It says I have a right to record law enforcement officers from public.
I'm instructing you verbally that
Just federal case law Turner v. Driver.
I'm familiar with it.
It's controlling here in the state of
Yeah,
Louisiana. It's
it's-
Fifth Circuit.
Right, so the your office once you trespass. That's what they're saying from your office. So what I got to do now is I got to put that in the report. So now I have to identify you, or you have to identify yourself to me.
But I haven't committed a crime. As you see, you have no probable cause to say that I committed a crime because I'm outside. And plus, like I said, there's Turner v. Driver. I have a right to record law enforcement. Are you guys law enforcement?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
not saying you don't have a right to record us. We're saying you don't have a right to record in a DOC facility. And
But
then
you're making
we're
it seem
saying
like I'm in some sort of restricted area type
it doesn't
of...
matter. It is still a DOC facility.
But does your policy supersede case law from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals?
I'm not familiar with the case that you're describing.
Oh, I am,
What
but-
you're saying is it says you are allowed to record law enforcement.
Right.
It doesn't say more than likely that you can violate.
What do you think a right means that I have a right to
But that
do
doesn't
it?
mean you can do it everywhere. You can't go into a prison and record.
It has to be reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, and that's up for a court to decide whether it's reasonable or not. I'm in a public lobby. I'm not in a restricted area. I wasn't causing a disturbance.
DOC facility.
We're restricting you from our lobby.
I mean, but that's up to the law enforcement. Listen, at the end of the day, I can take it to court.
There's a fight going on, involves a gun, so we're out.
Right. So, like I said, I know the case law. If you're trespassing me from here, and if the Kenner police officer here is telling me that I'm trespassed from here, I won't go back inside under threat of arrest, and then I'll just file a complaint with the federal court. No, not an internal complaint, like a federal complaint, like a lawsuit.
So they don't want you in there videotaping because it's the Department of Correction office and should be some privacy stuff or whatever going on. But they're asking that you don't go up there.
So are you telling me,
What
officer?
floor are you?
Fourth floor.
The whole 4 floors. So, yeah.
No. So the whole fourth floor is yours?
Yeah.
Is leased out?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that if I go to the fourth floor, I would be committing the act of trespassing, and I'd be subject to arrest?
You're officially trespassed from there, and you would be subject to being charged with entry after being forbidden.
Which is a misdemeanor?
Correct.
Okay.
It's not criminal trespassing. It's
Violation?
yeah. So basically, Louisiana law says after you've been forbidden to enter a property, you enter again. It means entering after and remaining.
But how can you weaponize the legal system, the law? How can you weaponize the law to violate a constitutionally protected activity? That's the part that I'm not understanding. Hey sir, how are you? Good.
So
That's the disconnect that I'm having, is that if I have a right to do something, how can you weaponize the statutes and laws to violate that right?
I'm not weaponizing it.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you said you're familiar with the case Turner v. Driver, and it's controlling by the Court of Appeals, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals here, that encompasses Louisiana. So I don't understand. I'm not causing a disturbance. I'm not being disorderly. I'm not in any restricted areas whatsoever.
It's private property.
Right, but they're not private property. What they lease out is not private property. The owner of this whole building is not here telling you for me to leave, right?
The owner's not here right now,
Right.
so
He's not telling me, right? And the owner of this property, who's an individual or corporation, whatever it is, they're not telling you, they're not trespassing me from the property. A tenant is saying that I can't do that, but a tenant that's part of the
yeah.
government.
So you can't. Some public, offices like DOJ stuff, things like that. You can't videotape everywhere, and this is, the fourth floor is all for they probably need people that don't need to be identified. It could be all kinds of reasons. However, 207 headquarters is code. Is there a problem with you not going up there anymore?
Well, yeah, only because it's my right. So again, I believe I have the right to, based on Fifth Circuit case law. They are law enforcement officers.
So their clients don't have a right to privacy?
Well, nobody has a right to privacy in public. Nobody does. That's why there's cameras all over the building in public. They have cameras in their office, I'm sure, that I can open records request and get the footage from. Nobody has an expectation of privacy in public. Nobody does. But especially not law enforcement officers like these two gentlemen here. And you guys are also law enforcement officers. So what I'm saying is that I believe it to be my right. I came down here outside to de-escalate the situation and to speak to you guys outside. And like I said, if you say that I'm going to be arrested for exercising that right, I would just advise that, there is no qualified immunity for things that have already been settled. So, there's already case law in this circuit regarding recording law enforcement officers in public. So there wouldn't be any qualified immunity for yourself or this other officer here or these probation officers. But I have no problem doing that. I don't want to escalate it. I don't want you to have to. It sounds like you have more important things to do here than to try and violate my rights. So I have no problem just filing a federal complaint and not going back inside. That's not an issue with me. I have plenty of lawyers. It's fine. I got plenty of lawyers to do it, and then we can figure it out that way. It's fine. I would prefer that you guys honor your oath to uphold the Constitution, to uphold my First Amendment rights, and say you have a right to record law enforcement in a public lobby. I mean, it's a public lobby. Anybody can go in there. It's not like it's locked or secured or anything like that. That's my only thing. But again, I don't want to escalate.
So we have, like our police station, we have certain areas that.
But if I went into your lobby, would you arrest me for recording in your lobby?
No, but
Right.
there's other areas in the station you can't go.
Right, of course, because you couldn't go there anyway. Right.
They have restricted areas up there.
Right, exactly, because it's restricted. I understand that. I wouldn't go in the. I wouldn't go.
You're saying that you're going. You're filming these restricted areas.
But I'm not. There is no restricted area that I'm filming. I'm in a public lobby, just like your police department public lobby. I'm not making the argument that just because of the Fifth Circuit case that I can record by your cells and your offices in the back. I'm not saying that. I'm saying public, what's open to the public, where no one has an expectation of privacy.
So basically, I got called out. I told you why I got called out
Right.
here. Okay. And I don't want any disturbances or problems.
I don't think anybody's creating a disturbance. Not you, me, or anybody. I don't think anybody's creating a disturbance at this point. I think everybody's being calm.
I mean, I see what you're doing. On the way to the call, I figured it's somebody that's just wanting to record things and might be one of those First Amendment auditor deals or whatever. So, and that's, hey, First Amendment's very important, and so is this officer's he needs to do to conduct his business.
But the difference is, officer, just, no disrespect. The difference is he's talking about policy and I'm talking about a right. So, I mean, that's where that's where we kind of diverge on what's more important.
Conduct their business without?
Well, I mean, I can't even see into their office.
You have the First Amendment right, okay, and you have the right to video and things like that in unrestricted areas, okay? So, with that said, can they just be able to do their job without? I mean, is there something going on?
Well, I received complaints
Is there more to this?
Well, the only thing that's more to it, which I explained to them upstairs when I came here, maybe not to them, but to the secretaries I spoke to, is that I received some complaints about people on parole and probation being mistreated by this particular office. Mm-hmm. So I just came here to investigate that as an independent journalist, as an activist, and to exercise my First Amendment right under Turner v. Driver, the Fifth Circuit controlling case in the state of Louisiana. So again, I'm hoping
public release, for records, like you can.
Right, I could do that. I was asking them about that. Right, I was asking about that. Hey, sir, how are you?
Oh, good. How you doing?
You would go before a judge.
Sergeant what?
Chris.
Sergeant Chris?
Well, yeah.
Okay, that's good enough.
It's so easy.
Sergeant Chris,
It's
good enough.
easier to say than the last name, but might as well do it.
A judge would order that.
Right.
That
A judge
way
would
it's
order
all-
what?
It's not all this and.
Right, but again, I don't want to escalate. Let's be clear. Don't want to escalate anything. I don't want to escalate anything. If you're telling me the Fifth Circuit Court, the Turner v. Driver doesn't apply in a public lobby here, then we can let a federal court handle it. That's where I'm standing right now. I don't want to break any laws. I don't break any laws. I work with departments across the country doing First Amendment trainings.
Yeah.
District attorneys' offices. That's what I do. So at the end of the day, I'm not here to, I'm pro law and order. I want my rights to be respected, and I don't feel like they are right now. So, I mean, it's up to you guys. If you tell me, if you go back upstairs, you'll be arrested, I will not go back upstairs. But there will be consequences as far as a lawsuit.
So the 4-4, yeah, and he's wanting to film. He's saying it's a public lobby.
Yeah, I mean, is he inside the probation parole office?
Yeah, they're saying, yeah.
Okay.
So the whole 4th floor is the office, is what it is.
Well, there's a stairwell that leads up with an, like a, what I call it, elevator area, right?
Right.
Fair assessment. But
And then there's a lobby, right?
We've asked him to leave. Eventually, he did leave and has come downstairs to wait for you guys. We appreciate you coming to help us investigate this. But as far as I'm concerned, 63.3 allows us to do this.
You don't tell him to leave.
Yeah. So that's.
So yes, sir. Since they're saying that they no longer want you on the 4th floor, you're not going to the 4th floor.
So the case law regarding a right to record law enforcement means nothing.
That's in their lobby. I'm sorry, not just their lobby, but if it's in their office, whatever they say, that's on them. If they're asking you to leave, not film with them present in their office lobby, I would have to see where.
It was a public lobby that everybody has access to.
Well, you have public access to here. So yeah, you can film all here if you want. But on the 4th floor, I mean, I haven't been up there in a while, so I have to go up and see. But yeah, if you're in their office and you tell me to leave, you have to leave.
The public lobby. I just want to be clear that you're understanding exactly what it is. It's a public lobby with public notices hanging everywhere. Not a restricted area, not locked to the public.
Does it have anywhere in there saying no video?
No.
Anything like that?
They haven't showed me any policy that says I couldn't record. They haven't had any signage that says no video recording. There is nothing. They have nothing other than them telling me that I can't record. And what I have is Fifth Circuit case law from Court of Appeals saying that I can record they said that they're law enforcement, and I'm recording law enforcement in public.
When you're filming law enforcement in public, you find us out here.
Like if I record in your public, right?
Right now, you're fine.
Right,
Absolutely.
but like if I went to your lobby, would that be an issue?
It might be. I would have to find out. If they told you to stop or if you have to leave, you would have to leave.
But then what's the point of the case law saying you have the right to do it if an officer can tell you that, no, you can't do it?
It's during the process of their duties.
I'm sorry?
It's during the process of their duties in public.
Right, and it's public. But any property that's owned by the public is public property.
I would have to ask my supervisor about obviously filming in our lobby, something like that.
Right.
I think that with it being that's not their building, their property, they could tell you to leave.
But
Like
whose
you-
building is it? It's not his building. It's not his building.
No,
It's
but he's the representative.
right. But he's a representative. He's a law enforcement officer in a publicly
Right,
funded
like you
building.
work at the Police Department.
Right.
I'm a supervisor with the County Police Department.
Right.
If you're in the lobby, I could tell you to leave. And don't adhere to that.
Sergeant, I disagree that you can just by fiat just say I'm going to violate your First Amendment right. I disagree with that. I disagree that any of you here can just say you have to leave because you are exercising your First Amendment right. Because if I wasn't recording, no one would have an issue. So because I'm recording, that's the issue, the First Amendment protected activity for Turner v. Driver. So if somebody just went in there and was asking questions or looking at the signage, you wouldn't tell them to leave, would you? You would just, if they're just looking at signage, they wouldn't tell them to leave. So again, like I said, if Sergeant, you're the supervisor here, the officers, I just want to let you guys know I'm not escalating. But if you're telling me I can't go to the 4th floor, or I'll be arrested for trespass after warning, or however the statute reads here, after being forbidden, whatever it is, then I won't. But I will file a lawsuit against this, not for money, but for educational purposes and accountability for violating my rights. So. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I was just getting clarification on.
This is the core of the Fourth Amendment argument. Under Terry v. Ohio and Hybel v. Nevada, police need reasonable articulable suspicion, RAS, of a crime to demand ID. Since the auditor has already left the property and is standing on a public sidewalk, he argues there is no crime committed, thus no legal obligation to identify himself.
On this building, so it's a private building that the public has access to. But if one of these private companies, organizations, people ask you to leave, yeah, you have to leave.
Right. But they're not private organization. Did you clarify that part? They're not a private organization.
Right. Actually, what I would like to do is go up to the 4th. Y'all don't mind? Sure. 4th. Yeah, I saw what you meant. The lobby. Obviously, there was no signs in there saying can't
Right.
record or anything like that.
Right.
At this point, the building manager did contact us saying she doesn't want you in the building at all. So the building manager saying you can't go in. If you do go in, you will be criminally trespassed.
Okay. So the building manager of this private building says I can't go in.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. How'd you get a hold of them?
She contacted us. She was like, hey, she's up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
With you being criminally trespassed on the building, I do need to see your IDs. Advising that we told you you've been trespassed on the building.
But I haven't committed a crime. That I didn't go back in the building.
No, but this is for our record saying that you have been trespassed.
No, that's not right. You don't
Right.
you don't need my ID for. I just won't go back in the building.
No, man. If you come another day, you can say, oh, I was never trespassed from here.
What do you mean? It's on your body camera. It's on everything. You guys know who I.
I don't know your name. I don't know your information.
But you would. That's not how it works. You could just tell me to leave. Oh, I'm already left. But you could just tell me.
Let's say you came back 2 weeks from now.
Right.
I'm not working. Maybe they're not working.
But they are, and they know that I've been
They don't know your
trusted.
name, right?
No, but they know who I am.
The sergeant issues a direct ultimatum: provide ID or go to jail. Legally, complying under this threat is considered duress, meaning the identification was not given voluntarily, but forced by the threat of unlawful arrest. This moment is critical evidence for a civil rights lawsuit under Title 42, Section 1983 for unlawful seizure.
I don't know who you are. I never met you a day in my life.
Well, they know what I look like.
Maybe they're not working. Maybe you look like a bunch of other people.
Well, listen, I'm not. Listen, once I'm trespassing place, I'm not going to come back, and I don't believe I have a legal obligation to give you an ID.
Unfortunately, we can't take your word for it that you will never come back here.
So if somebody gets trespassed from anywhere, they just
They always
have.
get their ID. They always
But is that a
get
lawful
their
thing? Is that lawful though? How can you? Because I haven't. But I haven't broken the law. But you can only request ID if you have reasonable articulable suspicion that I've broken the law. I haven't broken the law. I'm outside. I haven't gone back in. So therefore, I have broken 0 laws, and I don't have an obligation. You need reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime under Terry v. Ohio. But I haven't broken the law. I haven't. There's no law I've broken. I left. I'm outside. I'll leave the actual property. I have no problem, and I won't come back. I haven't broken the law. Again, if you tell me...
If you fail to identify to an officer who's in commission of his duties, you can go...
No, I can tell you the exact statute for Louisiana. Louisiana is LA Code Criminal Procedure Art 215-1A, modeled after Terry v. Ohio. A law enforcement officer may stop a person in a public place who he reasonably suspects has committed, or is about to commit an offense, and may demand of his name and address and an explanation of his actions. So I
believe there's a little more to that too.
I haven't committed a crime. You have to. If you could just get anybody's ID for without committing a crime, that would be a slippery slope in this country. If you could just say, "Hey, I want your ID." Again, I haven't committed a crime. So if I committed a crime, then you have a right to ask me for my ID. Even if you have reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime, you don't need probable cause. You just need what's called RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion. But I haven't committed a crime. So I don't believe I have a legal obligation to, if you tell me that I have a legal obligation and that if I do not identify myself to you, you will arrest me, then I will give you my name and we can go from there. But I would believe that was a Fourth Amendment violation, as I have a right to be secure in my papers. So, I mean, that's up to you. I just want to make it clear, I have no problem leaving right this moment. So
I understand. All right. sir, if you do not provide us with an ID or way of means of identifying.
Instead of arguing further on the street, the auditor takes the battle to the proper venue, City Hall. He files a notice of claim and a Section 1983 civil rights complaint. This shifts the power dynamic from a physical confrontation to a legal one, proving that knowledge of the law and written documentation are the most powerful weapons against tyranny. Today, we saw that knowledge is the only shield standing between you and a jail cell. So subscribe now to never bow down to unlawful intimidation. And remember, here at ID Refusal Central, freedom isn't something you ask for, it's something you exercise.